That's cool. Yeah, I do it now. All right, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Hockey for Heroes Hockey at Home series again for Lockdown 2.0. It's a massive shame that we're actually back in lockdown again, but it gives us an opportunity to kind of get some strength and conditioning in and get us an opportunity for you guys to do some of my workouts again. So the way this works, if you're new to these sessions, it's going to be a 30-minute workout. So we're going to start at 10:30, so in a couple of minutes. Allow everyone to kind of get logged on and stuff, and it will be a warm up. Then what we do is kind of like a preparation pair of exercises just to finish that warm up off, get your body really ready to receive the strength session, and then we'll then do a little bit of a finisher, then a cool down then at the end with some stretching and stuff, and then at 11 then we do 10-15 minutes worth of Q&A with me. So have a little bit of a think now if there's any kind of advice you need around training, nutrition, recovery from an injury. I'm also a sleep coach, so if you struggled last lockdown with sleep and stuff like anything really around health and wellness, do you think that I might be able to help with, jot it down now before the session, and then we'll be able to answer that at the end. Slightly different to last time as well. There will be a Just Giving link popping up on the video, purely because we've had information from Help for Heroes, which is the charity that we drive all of our funds to, is that they're really struggling with donations. So to do the workout, you don't have to donate, but if you can, it will be very much appreciated, as small or as large as that can be. They've just had to kind of shut some of their support centres, in particular one up north called Phoenix House, that was providing a huge amount of support to lots of ex-service men and women. So we'd like to kind of use this to drive a little bit of funds to go towards them, so they can start kind of making plans and stuff like that to go forwards. So I believe we are bang on 10:30. I'm going to give everyone another minute or so to get ready to join. So while we wait for everyone else, those of you who are online at the moment, please like the video, share it. Let's see if we can get anyone else on the workout this morning. If you have missed the workout will then come back onto YouTube later on. So we'll edit the video and stuff like that, so you can like and share that then to other people so they can do the workout then at a later date. As I mentioned before, you can use your hockey stick for some of the exercises. I know as hockey players we like to do as much as we can holding our hockey stick. So some of the exercises can. What you will need is a large towel. So you can have whatever you want to kind of lie on the floor and stuff like that with. That can be that can be a mat, but you will need a towel for some of the exercises. If you are doing the workout outside, because you don't have space inside, the workout's going to be very limited towards kind of like floor work. So it's where it's cold outside. I don't want a ton of people rolling around on the floor. So the workout will be kind of very much targeted to being stood up. There'll be a couple of times where you might have to put your hand on the floor. But yeah, don't worry about that. But if you've got a mat down, that kind of negates that. So let's crack on with the warm up. Any latecomers just kind of will have to jump in as we go. So just to start off, we're just going to get that heart rate up a little bit. So all I want you to do is you're just going to come up into some high knees into there. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super fast. Okay, I just want you to focus on really extending up through the ankle, knee, and hip. Chest nice and proud. Okay, let's get those hip flexors working, and then we're slowly just going to build that up into a little bit of a skip. Okay, so just try and double tap that other foot on the floor. So you're just going to go tap, 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 tap. Into there, bring those arms up into there, nice and tall. Awesome. Okay, and then we're going to open up the hips and the hamstrings. So single leg Romanian deadlift. It's a word just for the exercise. So knee nice and bent. Okay, you're just going to reach those hands forwards and then kind of snap those hips back up into a straight line. So just reach out into the edge, feel the stretch come through those hamstrings, snap back up, reach out, snap back up, okay? And then jog in on the spot, do a couple on the other side as well, snap back up. If that's too difficult and you're finding it difficult with balance, grab that hockey stick, hit it up on the floor, and then you're just going to reach out, snap back up, reach out and snap back up. The idea of it is it's meant to be a little bit wobbly, so a couple of steps into there, reach out, a couple of steps, reach out into there. Okay, you can do it as slow or as fast as you need to. Okay, just focusing in on just getting the movement right first of all. Okay, then we're then going to come into some hurdle steps. So when you're going to imagine you've got a nice high hurdle in front of you, keep your hips facing forwards. You're going to take one leg, step up over the hurdle, come back, okay, and you're going to step that back round and step back over again. Okay, a couple of steps, step that leg over the hurdle, then bring that leg back again and come up, reach back into there, reach back into there. Again, trying to get those knees nice and high, get over that hurdle, and then get the other leg right up over the hurdle. Try and keep your hips facing forwards. Okay, that's going to get the most amount of range from that hip joint. If I'm turning my hips, okay, I'm not really going to get any stretch or any extra mobility through those, through my hips. So just try and keep your hips facing forwards. And you can step over that hurdle into there. Then we're going to do exactly the same but going sideways. Okay, so you're going to pull that leg up nice and high, come over that hurdle, into there. Pull those toes up to your knees and step over that hurdle again. Try to keep your body as tall as you can. Okay, I don't want to see anyone rounding their back. Okay, keeping as tall as you can, stepping up and over that hurdle there. Okay, and then last one of the kind of like hurdle series is, we're going to imagine again that high hurdle, knee up to the front, and then you're just going to try and reach back and back into the front, reach back and back into the front. Okay, this is going to be quite difficult in your stability, but this is what we really need. So grabbing the floor with that foot, so imagine that foot that's on the floor. Okay, it's like a baby bird gripping a branch, right? You're going to kind of grip the floor as hard as you can, reach back, pull back again, reach back, pull back again into there. Okay, and we're going to sort of size. It's the same with that other foot, really gripping the floor. Okay, reach back, pull back into the center again, reach back, pull back into the center again. Okay, you should feel yourself trying to get like range from the hips, and you should feel some activation through that glute there. Then we're just going to move into that upper body. So grab your towel as wide as you need it, okay, for the corners. Pull the ribs down, okay, you're just going to open up through there. So just opening up those shoulder joints into there, making sure that as you come over, you're not flaring those ribs into there, okay. You really want to pull those ribs down, okay, sink that belly button down in towards your spine, stay nice and tall, okay. If it's easy, bring your hands like a little bit closer. Okay, if it's difficult, then make your hands just a little bit wider. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of that part of the warm-up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come into kind of that potentiation phase, just to kind of get everything really kind of firing and good to go again. So what we're going to do is we're going to do squat jumps, and then with our towel, you can hold it kind of roughly about shoulder width, one foot in front of the other, okay, as if you're doing a hockey shot. Okay, you're just going to into there, pull round, and you're gonna stop dead in line with that knee there, okay? And so the whole idea of this is trying to rip the towel in half, pull round into there, okay? So you're gonna feel that core really activate as then it's trying to stop on the way through. Okay, so we're gonna do 20 seconds of squat jumps, 10-second rest, 20 seconds on one side of the rotations, 20 seconds on the other side of the rotations. Again, we're gonna do 3 rounds of that. Okay, I'm just gonna set up a timer. Okay, so squat jumps to start off with. And a quick shout out to the Maidenhead under 14 girls. Good to have you guys on board. That's cool. So, okay, so straight into those squat jumps. Okay, so you're gonna squat, load, jump as high as you can, load into there. Okay, if you are top floor flat, you can do these as just like fast squats. Okay, so you can come, accelerate up if you don't want to annoy your neighbors. So squat down, big jump into there. Okay, last 5 seconds of that. Okay, 2, 1. So then go ahead, 10 seconds rest, grab that towel. Okay, so into kind of a lunge type position, or like your hockey stance. Pull that towel apart into there, as if you're gonna hit the ball as hard as you've ever hit it before, okay? And then you're gonna stop dead, okay, as if you've hit a brick wall, okay? Stay nice and tall, okay? You should really feel this glute having to do work, okay, and that core having to do loads of work too. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and swap sides. It's into there. The whole time I'm trying to rip this towel apart as well. Okay, I'm trying to grip the floor as hard as I can with that front foot. It's gonna create stability. Okay, last one. Okay, quick 10-second rest. Okay, and we're gonna come back into those squat jumps. Again, like if you're worried about neighbors and stuff like that, you can just do this with a fast intention, okay? So all that means is, so let's go, okay, into that squat, and then I'm gonna come up nice and fast. Come up nice and fast into there. If you're outside, okay, give them actual jumps. They go, okay, a nice quiet landing, okay? So into there, nice quiet landing, coming up as tall as you can. Okay, 2, 1, okay, 10-second breather. Okay, and I'm gonna straight back onto this towel again. So again, gripping that towel, trying to rip it in half. 1 foot forwards, grip the floor. Okay, I'm gonna come into some fast rotations into there. Wants to be nice and snappy. Imagine yourself like a little coiled spring. Okay, you're gonna coil up, bang, and whip it round, coil up, and whip it round. Okay, last 5, 2, 1. Okay, little 10 seconds. Okay, then we're gonna swap across to the other side. Okay, so grip that floor with that front foot again into there. Okay, and whip round. Get that breath out. At the end there is going to really help you pull that belly button to your spine. Okay, and keep that core super tight as you whip round. Okay, sit. Okay, little 10-second breather. Okay, then we're into that last round there. Okay, everything should be feeling really good now. Okay, you should feel glutes, core should be working nice and hard as well. Okay, so 2, 1. Okay, back into those squat jumps. Just sit into those hips, into there. Big load, sit in, into there. Okay, those landings should be nice and quiet. Okay, okay, you shouldn't sound like you're an elephant landing. Okay, you want to go toe into heel for a nice quiet landing. Again, if you're worried about your neighbours, okay, sit slow, come up fast, sit slow, come up fast into there. Okay, last 2, 1. Okay, grab your towel again. That front foot, okay, baby bird, gripping that branch. Okay, and we're going to whip round, pulling that towel apart, focus on that hard breath out, into there. Getting that core working, in particular, there's obliques. Okay, as hockey players, we use them a huge amount Okay, hitting, pushing, tackling, changing direction. Okay, so I'm going to work those nice and hard today. Okay, one more. Okay, and then we're going to swap sides. Okay, take a little 10-second breather. Okay, and this is the last little bit of this kind of potentiation phase of the workout. Okay, 2, 1, grip that floor. Okay, you whip round. Okay, pulling that towel. Okay, wants to be short, sharp, and aggressive. Okay, last 5. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, take a little breather. Grab yourself some water. Okay, before we then come into kind of the meat of the session. Okay, which is the strength and conditioning part. Okay, so this is going to be a circuit. Okay, a little bit slower than the first bit. Okay, just so you can focus on form, and you get quite a lot of coaching in from me. So that's going to be, we're going to do a single leg towel isometric deadlift. I'm going to switch towels because this one's a little bit easier to do it with. So again, 1 foot forward, you're going to stand on that towel. That foot's just going to be slightly behind, and so you're going to grip that towel as hard as you can. Okay, and you're going to drive that foot as hard as you can into the floor. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my chest up as big as I can into there. Okay, you should feel glutes, hamstrings, quads, upper back, everything working super hard in that position. Okay, so you're going to do 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. Then straight after that, we're going to come into a high side plank rotation. So one hand on the floor, those feet can be split, okay, and you're going to rotate as far through as you can, and open up as high as you can, as far through as you can, and open up, okay? If that's too difficult for you, just do a high side plank, or just a regular half side plank. And then, and a quick shout out to Sean at North Wilts Hockey Club. Keep the shout outs coming, guys. It's always good to know that there's someone on the other side of that screen. Otherwise it's a bit weird me talking to myself. And then last exercise then is a Cossack squat. So feet nice and wide. And you're going to drive this other hand to the other foot. Into there, get as much rotation as you can. Come back to the middle. Into there. Rotate round as much as you can. You do 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side, into there, okay? So those are your 3 exercises. Okay, we're going to work through 4 rounds of that, and then we're then going to come into a quick finisher. So we're going to start off then with that towel single leg isometric deadlift. Okay, so go ahead and grab your towel. Okay, you're going to stand on it. Into there, chest nice and big. Okay, you're trying to rip that towel in half. Okay, imagine I've got a couple of hockey balls underneath my armpits. I'm trying to squeeze those hockey balls. It's going to keep my chest nice and big. Okay, keeps my back nice and flat. Okay, stops it from coming into my lower back. Okay, we're just going to hold for another 5. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then go ahead and swap sides. Okay, so onto the other leg, exactly the same position. Okay, chest nice and big, back nice and flat. Okay, and you're trying to rip that towel in half. This is good work. Okay, you should feel glutes, hamstrings, quads, okay, upper part of your back, working super hard here, trying to aggressively rip that towel in half. Okay, and we're almost there. Okay, 2, 1, sit. Okay, come up out of that. Okay, then we're going to come straight into those rotations. Okay, 30 seconds. So nice and tall, so arm nice and straight. You're going to rotate around as far as you can. Okay, and open back up again. Rotate around as far as you can. Open back up again. Into there. Again, you should feel those obliques. Okay, so that side part of your core. Doing all of the work here. Trying to rotate around. Okay, if that's okay, it's exactly the same on the other side. Okay, it's nice and tall into there, and see if you can rotate round as far as you can. Open back up to a nice kind of tall position. Rotate round. Imagine this arms being pulled up towards the sky. And rotate back round again. And open up. And rotate back round. And open up again. If it's too difficult, okay, you can always drop it down. Okay, just to hold. Make sure those hips are nice and high. Make sure you're not sagging in the middle. Or you can come and just kind of bend this arm. Okay, last 2, 1. Okay, we're going to come up out of that. Okay, then we're going to come into those side squats or Cossack squats. Okay, so legs much wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, and I'm going to imagine I'm going to sit back into a chair and back up into the middle. You're going to sit back into that chair and rotate round. Your goal here is to try and get this other hand right up towards the ceiling. Okay, so you're trying to rotate round, come back in, rotate round. It's going to feel quite blocked as hockey players, right? Here it gets really tight for us. Okay, but trying to open up these extra ranges. Okay, it's just going to make you feel so much better on the hockey pitch. Okay, go ahead and swap sides then. Okay, so we're going to come into that other side. Rotate round as far as you can, making sure that you're trying to sit back. Okay, so I imagine I'm trying to sit back onto my sofa into there as I come up. Okay, trying to sit back onto that sofa, come back up again. Sit back into that sofa, come back up again. Again, goal is trying to get that opposite hand reaching up towards the ceiling. Okay, come out of that. And another quick shout out to Simon Deeren. Good to see people kind of writing those comments. Okay, so we're going straight back into that single leg ISO. Okay, so into there, you're going to grab that towel. Okay, drive that foot hard into the floor. Okay, again here I want to be loading through the hips. Okay, so my hips want to be reaching back towards my sofa, and then I'm trying to push my foot as hard as I possibly can through the floor, and with my hands here I'm trying to rip that towel out from underneath my foot. Okay, we're going to hold for another 2, 1. Good, okay, go ahead and swap sides. Okay, so exactly the same the other side. Okay, ripping that towel, trying to stay as tall as you can. Okay, we want to get as much load coming through these glutes as we can. Okay, glutes are going to look after our hips, look after our knees. Okay, going to make us better, faster hockey players. Okay, so really working this exercise as hard as you can. Okay, and then come out of that. And then we're going to switch around into that tall side plank. Okay, so again, making sure you've got that position right first. Okay, nice and tall. Imagine you're being pulled up towards the ceiling. Rotate round as far as you can. And again, allow your body to get pulled back up towards the ceiling again. Rotate round. Pull back up towards the ceiling again. Come back up. Okay. I much prefer you guys to do 5 of these in 30 seconds. Okay. And they be the highest quality possible rather than doing 15. Okay, you don't feel it anywhere. Okay, then go ahead and swap sides for me. Okay, so exactly the same in the other side. Okay, so again, allow yourself first to get pulled up towards the ceiling. Rotate round. And again, get pulled back up towards the ceiling again. And rotate back round again. Again, if this is too difficult, okay, just come into a hold, or you can just pop that forearm down, okay, and then just come into just a regular side plank there. So it's going to be a little bit less demanding on that shoulder and that arm. Okay, so we're almost there. Rotate round, come back up for the last one. Okay, then we're back into those Cossack squats. So again, so sitting into that chair, driving as far into that hip as you can, trying to get this other hand right up towards the ceiling. Okay, you should be feeling this everywhere. You should be feeling a stretch in the other leg. Okay, you should be feeling glutes, hamstrings. You should be feeling that upper back. Okay, in around the shoulder blades as you're trying to force that other arm up towards the ceiling. into there, reach around as far as you can. Okay, go ahead and swap sides. It's absolutely fine to have one side that feels so much better than the other. Okay, if we play a one-sided sport, okay, so you're going to have one side that's going to be stronger, more flexible than the other. Okay, it's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so this is why strength and conditioning and doing kind of lots of single arm, single leg stuff, it's going to be really important for us to help kind of manage some of those imbalances. Okay, and come back up after that. Okay, we're going to grab that towel again. Okay, we're going to come into that isometric. Into there. Okay, so last 30 seconds of this exercise, really grab that towel, get as hard as you can. Okay, get nice and aggressive with it. I want to hear that people have actually ripped that towel. Okay, get those hockey balls squished nice and tight underneath the, underneath the armpits. Okay, we're going for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, go ahead and swap sides. Okay, again, another big aggressive effort here. Okay, the more work you put in here, okay, the more benefits you're going to get. Okay, so from the floor up, okay, that baby bird gripping a branch, okay, as tight as it possibly can. Okay, I'm driving hard into the floor. Okay, my hands are trying to rip that towel in half. Armpits are squashing those hockey balls, and I'm trying to reach my hips back, okay, as if I'm about to sit back into a chair. Okay, we're going to hold for another 3, 2, 1. Okay, come up out of that. Okay, and then we're back into those side planks. Okay, these should be getting tough by now. Okay, so really allow yourself to get pulled up towards the ceiling. Okay, reach around as far as you can. Again, pull back up towards the ceiling again. Okay, this exercise wants to look very pretty. Okay, the prettier it looks, okay, the more good it's doing you. Okay, if it looks really sloppy, okay, the chances are you're going to drive all of that effort into your lower back, where you definitely don't want it to. Okay, let's do one more on this side and open up. Okay, I'm going to swap sides. Okay, so exactly the same the other side. Okay, reaching up, come back round and open up again. Okay, again, the chances are here. Okay, quick shout out to Dirty Hockey Club in Cornwall. Good to have you guys doing the workout. Okay, last 5 seconds on this side. Okay, 2, 1, awesome. Okay, and then we're back into our last exercise. Time is going crazy. Okay, so if you go into those cross-leg squats, really reaching into that side. See if you can get a little bit more range every single time. Okay, sitting back into that chair. Again, you want to be working from the floor up. So the whole time you want to be gripping that floor. Okay, that's going to help activate glutes. It's going to help make that knee feel more stable. If that knee feels more stable, okay, you're going to get way more range. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and swap sides. Come into this side. So for me, this side feels really ugly. Okay, super tight in around the glutes. You can probably see it. Okay, I'm not getting as much range into here. Okay. It's purely because of the way I play hockey, or don't play hockey, this side gets proper jammed up and really tight. Okay, last 2, 1, awesome. So that's the strength part finished. Go ahead and grab a quick drink then before we come into a quick finisher. Okay, so our finisher is going to be mountain climbers with a north, south, east, west. Okay, so similar to the potentiation bit. Okay, we're going to do 20 seconds on with a 10-second rest. Okay, I'm just going to take my socks off for this. Otherwise, I'm going to stack it. So rotational mountain climbers. Okay, so hands on the floor. Okay, opposite knee to opposite elbow. into there, okay, as fast as you can. If that's too difficult, right, you're then just going to come into straight. If that's too difficult, okay, just hold that nice, really pretty plank, okay, and just work hard there for me. Okay, then north, south, east, west. When you imagine you're in the center of a compass, okay, you're just going to take a couple of steps to north, back into there, okay, west, east, back to the middle, back again into south, okay. Use as much room as you have, or as little room as you have. You're still going to find huge benefits, okay, from really just kind of changing direction with those nice fast feet, okay. So as I said before, 20 seconds work with a 10-second rest. Okay, we're just going to do 3 rounds of this. So I want the intensity as high as you possibly can, okay. I don't want you to leave anything left in the tank here. Okay, so we're going in 5. So let's get in as mountain climbers. Okay, here we go. Okay, straight into those rotations. Use that breath. Okay, to really help yourself out. Keep that back nice and straight. Trying to get that opposite knee to that opposite elbow. Keep working hard. Here you're going to get a 10-second rest in 2, 1. Okay, little 10-second rest. Okay, shake it out. Get that air back in. Okay, we're going to ready into north, south, east, west. Okay, it's a nice hockey stance here. Okay, so we're going to hit north, back into air, the south, into west, into east, okay, and then back into south. Okay, back into north, back into west. Okay, east, north, south, west, east, south, east, north, and west. Okay, 10-second breather. 1 round done, 2 to go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go. Okay, straight into those mountain climbers. Get control of that breath. Okay, you've got this. Okay, if it's too difficult and form's breaking down, come back into the straight or into that nice little hold. Okay, we're almost there. Last 5. Okay, 2, 1. And a little 10-second breather. Shake the legs off, shake the arms off. Okay, and we're back into north, south, east, west. North, south, shout out to Oswald Hockey Club. South, west, north, south, west, east, north, south, west, east, and north. Okay, 10-second rest. 2 to go. This is going to be the last round, okay? If you struggled, Isle of Wight Hockey Club, I see you working hard then on this last round. Here we go. Just step it up a notch. Let's go. Here, pumping those legs as hard as you can. Okay, want everyone to leave nothing in the tank after this circuit. Just keep it going. Knees nice and high, chest nice and proud. Let's go. Almost there. Okay, 2, 1. Awesome, a little 10-second breather. Okay, then we're back in the north, south, east, west. Let's get ready in that nice athletic. Say it again. Fleet and new shot. Hockey club. U shot. U shot. Okay, let's go into it. North, south, west, east, north, south, west, west, east, north, south, south, west, east, north, west, south. Here we go. West, south, west, north, east, and south. Good work. Good work, everyone. Welcome back to Hockey for Heroes, Hockey at Home with the Expert Series. Take a couple of seconds to get that breath back. Grab some water and pull out a mat if you're at home. Find some space for a little bit of stretching. If you're outside, I'm going to give you a bit of an alternative to do so you don't have to be on the floor. For the first one, okay, just half kneeling position into there. Again, engage that core a little bit, and then you're just going to sink forwards onto that bent knee. Rest your weight onto it. It's going to open up hamstrings, glutes, and that hip flexor. Okay, if you are outside, nice and simple, just grab that back foot, okay, and put it all the way up towards your bum. Drive those hips forwards to get more of a stretch coming through that hip flexor. Okay, so you're going to sit into this nice low lunge. Yeah, then go ahead and swap sides for me. Again, should be nice and relaxed into here. Okay, sit some weight onto that other leg. Allow your hips to completely relax and just kind of plop into the middle there. Okay, you shouldn't be holding any tension anywhere. Okay, otherwise you're not going to get a stretch or a release from that muscle if you're holding some tension. Again, if you're outside, okay, just come into that quad stretch. Okay, where you stood up and putting the heel up towards your bum. Awesome. Okay, come out of that. Okay, I'm going to do this one for the outside people first. You're going to need someone to balance on, or if you've got that hockey stick, into there. Okay, you're just going to cross the foot over. Okay, and then going to just sit back. Have that other hand to make sure that leg stays in place. Okay, you're just going to sit back into that glute stretch there. Okay, if you're at home, okay, you can easily do this one on the floor, lying back on the floor, hands through that other leg. Okay, pulling that leg up so you feel more of a stretch than in that other glute. Okay, and go ahead and swap sides. It's exactly the same. And just sit back into those hips there. You have to be a little bit more active in this position, but try and kind of just plop yourself into those hips just to feel a stretch coming through the glutes and that. Awesome. Okay, and then come up out of that again. Outside, if you're using, you use a hockey stick, similar to one of the exercises. Okay, we're just going to open up that groin. So rest some pressure on there. If you're at home, okay, you can do this seated. Okay, you're just going to sit into that other side there. Feel a stretch coming through that groin. Okay, if you are at home, okay, you can just sit on the floor, feet out at a 45 degree, okay, and just pop yourself into the middle there. Okay, and swap sides, and then sit into there, feel that stretch coming through the groin, into there. Awesome work. Okay, come up out of that. Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining me today. Hope everyone worked hard and found some benefit from that. As I said before, I've actually run over a little bit, so apologies if you've got to shoot off. Just a couple of quick reminders. Please like and share the video so we can get this out to the rest of the hockey world, so people have got a little half hour of strength and conditioning support while we can't play hockey. Take a look at the Just Giving link that we're going to put on there. If any of you can donate anything at all, it will be greatly received by Help for Heroes, which are in desperate need, especially it being Remembrance Weekend, for us to for us to help support those ex-servicemen and women and their families, particularly at this time of year with lockdown and remembrance coming up. Those of you who have got the time to stay, hopefully Ben, who's been in my ear the whole session, giving me shout outs and stuff like that, has maybe got some questions for me. Got some questions for me, Ben? Okay, so great question. So obviously with the start of the hockey season, people playing hockey and then going back into lockdown, the question was of how can we stay match ready just in case you're able to play games and stuff like come December. Two schools of thought on this really. Playing hockey previously would have definitely lifted your fitness level up, so you pretty much need to really maintain that. And from what I've seen personally is lockdown can induce quite a lot of injuries because people are moving around less. So I would say in terms of like specific prescription, get yourself out for a long run occasionally, maybe once a week. That would be kind of anywhere between, probably a nice little 10K. Keep that endurance, keep that kind of that distance in your legs for hockey. Go out and do something short and sharp with some change of directions. So similar to the north, south, east, west, okay, but maybe over a larger period, or some shuttles or something like that. Again, keep that really short but high intensity. So maybe that might take 20 minutes, and then focus on some mobility stuff. What we can see from lockdown is people are going to be walking around a lot less, a lot more time sat down. And then when we then get onto the hockey pitch, you definitely don't want to then get injured again. We want to make the most of the time of that you can play. So one long run, one short high intensity kind of change of direction session. You can then maybe do like a shorter, faster run. So that could be like a 3 or a 5K, and then make sure then you're working on that mobility and that recovery. Making sure your body is limber enough then for when we get back into hockey that it can take the massive amounts of rotation, change of direction, and kind of the effort and the passion and that you put into playing a game of hockey. Hopefully that helps. Any more, Ben? Yeah. Was that jaw joint? Okay, so interesting question. I've never really heard this before. So Simon's pops in with a question saying that it's getting jaw pain that's then leading to kind of stiffness and that around the neck. I would say it's probably anything like that. It's probably, my question would be like, what are you doing for the whole of the day? Like, are you changing position regularly? Like, are you stressed? We tend to, when we get stressed, is the jaw locks up. You might be like grinding your teeth when you sleep and stuff like that. So that tension into there, if you imagine you squeezing your jaw super hard now, everything else kind of goes with it, right? If you're super like tense and that, like everything just kind of really scooches up and gets really short. So my question back to you would then be like, like what's your mind like at the moment? Are you stressed? Do you have a massive workload? Can you find some sort of kind of relaxation technique, whether that's any type of breathing, meditation, headspace, or whatever, to kind of alleviate some of that tension that you're carrying up here? Then in terms of specific exercises, you can get a couple of fingers and there are muscles in there that control your joint. You can just get a couple of fingers in there and massage that out and to get some sort of relief. And then you can make sure your neck's going through its full range of motion, and that can be very simple with just kind of some real simple stretches into there, okay, and up and down, and then very slowly and carefully just doing like a full rotation around into there. Okay, just going to where your limits are. If you feel if it's going to be pinchy or sore coming into that range of motion, so getting to there and you're like, oh, I think that's not going to feel really good. Okay, skip it, come back to the middle and start again past it and into there. Loosen up all the other muscles around it will help that other range of motion. If it still persists, I would definitely go and see a specialist to try and figure it out. It's something that I've not come across regularly, so perhaps there's a trapped nerve or something like that there as well. But give those exercises that a go, and if they don't help, then yeah, seek advice of a osteo or a physio or something like that that's got more specific knowledge than than I have around the jaw and neck. Any more, Ben? Top moves for hip mobility. There are loads. You can so top moves for hip mobility. There's so many you can do. People have their favorites. One of my simple and favorite ones is, well, it's kind of like just a bit of a routine, really. So as hockey players, the front of our hips will get super tight, right? So if you can come into what's called a couch stretch, so pop your foot up onto the couch or a sofa. It was an American exercise, so they called it couch. Into there, you're just going to sit back into there, feel a stretch come through that quad. Pull the ribs down so you're not flaring, and you feel more of a stretch into there. Then if you can, then just do some small pulses forwards just to help to release that muscle off. Do kind of like a minute to 2 minutes on each side. Then come straight out of that into a pigeon stretch. Okay, so into there, so you're going to just plop that leg across the front there, and you're just going to sit back into that hip there, feel a stretch come through the glute and possibly down into that IT band, depending on how tight you are. Again, do 1 to 2 minutes on each side, and then build some proper range of motion back into those hips. Okay, so we're going to do what's called a 90-90 stretch. So you're going to stay nice and tall through there. Okay, have your hands behind your back so you don't collapse over, and then you're going to bring each leg to 90 degrees. Okay, so 90 degrees for that front leg, 90 degrees in that back leg, and then the goal is to kind of keep that 90 degrees then as you roll over to the center, and then back in then to the other side, and then you can sit into more of a stretch, whatever feels good here, and then again then you can roll back over, get into the center, get a little bit of a stretch, come through there, and then back into the middle there, and just flow through that for maybe, again, for a minute, a couple of minutes, or however long you've got. The more you do, the better it will become. But those are kind of my 3 go-tos. So we're doing some static stretching to really lengthen that muscles and create some extra space. And then the 90-90 stretch then is bringing that ball and socket joint through that new range that you've given it from stretching, and getting it to kind of know that it's there, if that makes sense. We can stretch, but unless we teach our body that new range of motion is there, then we end up losing it then later on. So couch stretch, pigeon, then into 90-90. Hope that helps. Okay, so it's similar question then on tight hamstrings. So hamstrings are really interesting. Well, mobility and stuff like that's really interesting anyway. So the chances are that your hamstrings probably aren't necessarily tight, but they're probably a little bit underused and need some strengthening. So when they do get used, they're kind of not really quite sure what's going on, and they shorten up. So we can do hamstring specific stretching, which again is super easy. So you can kind of sit into this kind of stretch there and pop yourself forwards and feel a stretch come through that hamstring, and you can do exactly the same then on the other side, again for 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to get it moving a little bit more actively. So we can do leg raises, right? So keeping one leg bent and the other one as straight as you possibly can. You're going to raise it up into there, trying to keep your lower back flat onto the floor. Come back down, raise up, come back down into there. You'll feel a stretch come all the way across the back end of that leg. And then, so you do about 8 to 12 of those on each side. And then we're then going to do some eccentric leg sliders. So you're going to come up into a bridge position, have like something slippery underneath your heels. Okay, so you're going to come up into that bridge, and then you're going to slowly then extend both legs out until you're straight, and then keep your hips down, reset again back to the middle, come up into that bridge position, and then slowly extend both legs out under tension into there. Does that make sense? I think I've got anything slippery. So if we're up into here, just so this makes a little bit more sense. So you're up into this position, and then you're going to let those legs slide out as slowly as you possibly can into there. Pop those hips back down, reset again, come up nice and high, and then come down as slowly as you possibly can down into there. Do about 6 to 8 of those. Do that kind of maybe 2 to 3 times a week. What tends to happen with hamstrings is when you run, they work eccentrically. So when I stride onto the floor, my hamstrings have to react to that stride and lengthen under tension, which is called an eccentric contraction. So it lengthens under tension. Now, very rarely do we train the hamstrings to be strong enough to take that. So doing those leg sliders works on that eccentric contraction, but it also helps to lengthen that muscle as well under tension, which replicates similarly what you do in running. So those 3 exercises, so a simple hamstring stretch, then up into some active leg raises, and then into eccentric leg sliders, should really see a huge improvement in hamstring, both strength and mobility and stability. So hopefully that helps quite a few of you, because I think hamstrings are kind of a big thing, isn't it? Like, I always hear of people popping their hamstrings, especially coming up into January when the weather's a little bit colder and you're not as warm or conditioned to it after Christmas. Cool. Any more questions, Ben? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the question is with the days getting shorter and it being darker in the evening, how do you set yourself up for success to be able to go out and do your exercise in the evening when it might be cold, wet and really dark? My answer to that would to be remove as many barriers as possible and set up a really successful routine of that evening, so it then becomes just a thing you do, right? It just becomes a habit rather than you having to force yourself to do that. And that might take several steps, right? So that might be, you might start off with setting out your running kit for somewhere where you can see it, right? And that might be step 1, right? That might be enough for you to trigger, right? I'm planning on going out for a run, and you're like, maybe not now. Then the next step then might be, I'm going to put my kit on. So I'm going to put my running kit on, and then build it up then from there. And what I mean about removing barriers and stuff like that, remove kind of, you're probably kind of working a lot longer while at home. So set yourself like an alarm, right? To say 6 or whenever you finish work. Alarm goes off, and then you're like, okay, cool, it's running time. Alarm goes off, and maybe you've then got your running kit next to you. Because otherwise, what tends to happen is, and it's happened to all of us, is like, right, I need to go running. You go, you have a look for your kit, something happens, you end up sitting on the bed scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and you're like, oh, I've now wasted half an hour, it's still super dark. Oh, you know what, I will do it tomorrow. Try and shorten that connection and remove as many barriers as you can between you finishing work and you heading out the door for that run or for that fitness session. And then in terms of motivation, right? The first question was like, how do you stay fit then to play hockey again? Well, there's your motivation, right? Is your motivation is for when we finally get a chance to step back onto that hockey pitch again, of you're feeling, super fit, you're feeling great, and you can go straight back into that game playing at 100%, rather than you stepping onto that pitch, you know, having that guilt and that regret about all those sessions that you missed, and that now you feel kind of sluggish, you can't give as much to the team, or even worse is that you then pick up an injury game one and you then have to sit 2 to 3 games out. So there's your motivation, right? Is being able to play as much hockey as you possibly can with what's left of the season, and then strategy then is then shortening that distance. Have that gym kit out ready and somewhere where you can see. Set an alarm when you finish work, and then making sure that you're going straight from work straight to that kit, straight outside or wherever it is you do fitness. Try and get rid of those barriers that are potentially distracting. Hopefully that's helpful. So I think we're going to round it up there. Thank you very much, everyone, for jumping into this session. As I've said during the summer, like, these sessions are totally for you guys. So if there's anything that you want to see more of in the session, you want to see less of the session, pop me a direct message. So Matt Alexander, the strength coach, on Facebook, or via Instagram. So Matt_Alexander PT. Send me a little message with what you want to see more of, or what you potentially didn't like, so I can tailor these sessions then, so you can get the most out of it on a Saturday morning. Then on the other side then, if you can, and it would be very much appreciated, especially this weekend, it being Remembrance Weekend, is give a click on to the Just Giving link, share it around as much as you can, and let's see if we can raise some funds with these sessions, so they can go to people who actually really need that support at the moment, and they're not really getting it at the moment because they're not got the funds to do it. Again, no pressure if you can't financially. I know this is a difficult situation for a lot of people financially at the moment. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. Carry on doing the sessions. It would be great to see you. But if you're lucky enough to be in a situation where you can spare £1, £5, or whatever to donate to us and then to Hockey for Heroes, it would be very much appreciated. So we're going to do the same again next week. So 10:30, half-hour session, then with a bit of Q&A at the end. We'll be at a slightly different location next week. My living situation has changed a little bit, so just trying to figure out what that might look like, but it will be hopefully more picturesque than this one. So I'll see you guys next week. Like and share the video. Let's get it around. We're going to upload it onto YouTube. So if you missed out this session, then have a look on YouTube. Then so you can catch up on the sessions. See you guys next week.